My name is Kyle de Lima, as the young lady just mentioned. I am the founder of Trini Eco Warriors. I did bring a presentation which included some video clips and whatnot. However, these people are not so Mac savvy. So unfortunately, I won't be able to play the videos. All I'll be able to do is show you images and whatnot. I was asked about a month and a half ago if I would be willing to present at this forum. It's not ordinarily the kind of thing I do. I prefer to be in the field, videotaping, taking pictures, and getting myself in general trouble. However, a big part of what I'd like to try and take Trini Eco Warriors into is this sort of awareness campaigning, getting the youth behind what it is we do and what it is other environmental groups and NGOs are doing around Trinidad and Tobago, because it will benefit all of us. So I was asked to speak on raising our voices, empowering our youth for action. And to me, the first thing I wanted to envision was learning, teaching. I'm not a teacher, I'm not an expert. I was a commercial diver who worked for years in the oil industry. In fact, I probably worked for many of our sponsors here today, underneath their oil platforms or installing a pipeline or something for them. However, can we switch slide, please? Okay. What is the goal of Trini Eco Warriors? Well, the young lady read our mission statement there. It is simply to try and use the only means which I have necessary. I'm not a scientist, as I said before. The only means I have necessary to get the word out there is through imagery and video, right? So we use photograph, video to get that out. So that's our goal. That's how we do about it. Progress is very difficult for us to gauge in this particular field because we are an online group. Primarily, our membership consists mainly of the social networking community in Trinidad and Tobago. So what we have is a situation where it's very difficult for us to actually quantify what sort of impact we're having at this point in time. However, as time goes on, I have no doubt people will join on who will be able to help us develop that side of things. Slide, please. This was a video. This is actually a video trying to show some of the power of imagery that Trini Eco Warriors has been able to bring across to the public. During our time in activity, we have worked on projects as diverse as turtle conservation, which is where the logo came from, originated from, oil spill awareness, beach cleanups, anything that's going. We try and see how we can get involved and just spread the word. So we try to appeal to other groups. If any of you all here are involved in groups that are doing projects and that sort of stuff and would like it promoted, would like people to know what's going on, that's what we do, right? So you all are more than welcome to do that. Slide, please. Okay. Environmental literacy. I'm not sure how many of you have heard this phrase before. To me, it's a very important phrase. I think that it is the future of environmentalism for people in Trinidad. We are not environmentally literate as a nation so far. The vast majority of us, in my experience, don't know what the hell is going on, right? Environmental literacy is the capability for contextual and detailed understanding of an environmental problem in order to enable analysis, synthesis, evaluation, and ultimately sound and informed decision-making at a citizen's level. Right? Now, that's a tall order. It is a tall order because there are so many issues and there are so many different ways that people are proposing to deal with those issues, solutions then. So, slide please. By coming or attending functions like this and also hoping to encourage schools and educational facilities to include environmental literacy programs in their syllabuses, we hope to eventually end up with citizens who are environmentally literate students will have the knowledge, tools, and sensitivity to properly address an environmental problem in their professional capacity and to routinely include the environment as one of the considerations in their work and daily living. This is something that's very difficult to get people to actually do. I have found that, even though we have a number on our page on Facebook that says we have 13,400 and something followers, I would say roughly 200 of them are active. I would say probably a good 99.9% of them are just, they were there because we had one or two items that interested them at that point in time. They clicked like, and they just haven't clicked unlike yet. All right? That's the blatant truth of it. You know, people in Trinidad are not very concerned about the environment on the whole. I'm not talking about present company. I'm talking about out there in the field. I'm not even talking about Westmoreland and Diego Martin. That's a tiny part of the country. This is our country is not very big. But the majority of our people don't really, a lot of people who are on our Facebook page don't go past the lighthouse unless they're going to Toko to a beach house or they're going to Miaro to another beach house, right? So it's not a case of they're going into the field and actually hands on the ground, feet on the ground and seeing what's going on out there. And people out there, we have a long way to go. We have a long way to go. Slide, please. Well, this is just a little image to try and show you. We're trying to encourage three things in particular. Knowledge on a wide variety of environmental issues. Number two, we want to try and affect a change in behavior as an end result. Note the tree hugger, the little tree hugger there. And there's a little kid on the left stroking a bat. Now, I don't know if you all have ever, I see some reactions there already. People tend to be a little bit judgmental of a lot of creatures, and if it's not cute and cuddly, let's not why we're so bothering to save it, right? So, slide number 3, please. And we also like to encourage environmentally responsible behaviors. For example, practicing the 3 R's, reuse, recycle, reduce, reuse, recycle. Oh God, I nearly forget. Personal accountability, practicing appropriate waste disposal techniques, and sharing knowledge, each one teach one sort of model. I actually have been doing a lot of work recently in the Guanapo dump area. About 8 months ago, a lady from CNC3, Goldie Bruce, did a report on the Guanapo dump and the leachate that is draining out of the dump and ultimately ends up in the Crowne River, which is then sent into the pipelines that you and I drink, right? So she was having trouble to get people in the Guanapo dump area to even talk to her because they're very wary of news stations, and especially if they have a camera and whatnot up there. And, well, she called me and asked whether I could assist, and I got a few people to interview with her. And since then, well, about a week later, after the report came out on TV, WASA came out and did what WASA is good at, which is a publicity stunt. Right? They announced the launch of an Adopt a River program and went ahead and announced that they themselves, WASA, would be undertaking to adopt the Guanapo watershed and work with any community group that formed as a result of the formation of this program in order to clean up the watershed and use it as a model for the rest of the watersheds in Trinidad and Tobago. So I started working with some community members in the area, and for the last 7 months have been working on a group called GCEDO, which is the Guanapo Community Environmental Development Organization. Why I say why WASA did what he, I specifically would like to, if this is going to be aired or something, I'd like it on record that we need the support of our government agencies and we don't need fluff. I'm tired of hearing promises from government agencies and no follow through, right? For example, it is now August the 4th, my father's birthday. And yesterday I got a call to say that WASA has not even officially authorized the Adopt a River program. So for the last 7 months, I might as well have been playing marbles in the courtyard with the sprangers on them because that's basically what they do. They waste everybody's time. So anyways, next slide, please. Oh, wait. You changed the slide without me telling you. All right. Some of the issues that Trinidad warriors, and myself in particular, are most concerned about at this point in time are the ones listed above. Ocean acidification, natural resource exploitation, particularly here in Trinidad. I know that some of our sponsors fall well within that bracket, but it needs to be discussed. Marine debris, industrial discharges, and waste management in TNT. Now, I did select a couple images from, not all of them, but from a few of these topics, just to kind of brush over sort of the concerns that I have at this point in time. Can you give me the next slide, please? Ocean acidification. How many, everybody's aware of this phenomenon that's taking place? All right, okay, cool. Right, good, I don't have to explain it. Well, this to me is, is really becoming fast becoming my top priority in raising awareness. I mean, I don't think there's much we could do about it, but I think people need to know that it's taking place. In the next few years, maybe 15, 20, maybe even 40 years if we're lucky, we're going to experience a removal of a crucial link in the food chain, right? And that link is going to lead to knock-on effects. Everybody knows that as you have a species go extinct or the numbers drop drastically, there's always going to be a follow-on negative knock-on effect, right? And ultimately, if we remove this link in the food chain through this ocean acidification problem, we're going to end up with a problem where we have less fish available for the public. And couple that with the pollution that's taking place in the Gulf of Paria, and you do the maths, right? I myself, from my experience as a commercial diver, working in the Point Lisas area, diving for companies in Point Lisas on the terminal, the big jetty that all you see where the big ships come along, I used to dive under there, right? And I've seen what is going on in the Gulf of Paria firsthand. And as a result, I have stopped eating anything from the Gulf of Paria, right? Especially oysters, which I love, right? And especially, what you call them fish that don't move around much, not the pelagic ones, like grouper and snapper and whatnot that stay in an area, those no. If it's a kingfish that passes through the Gulf, maybe I'll eat it once, but just be letting you know. I mean, there's nothing much alive down there anymore. Next slide, please. It's just a diagram showing what's happening with the calcification problem, where the shellfish are not getting the calcium ions, the carbonate ions they need to make their shells. Carry on, please. Next slide. All right, this is the Guanapo dump. This photograph was taken last week. I've become quite well known in the dump, if that's a good thing. I don't know. The community members all know me up there. It's cool. Anyway, so I go up there and, they've become, I guess the word would be trusting of me and my mission, I guess. And they've allowed me to start using cameras in the dump. Not swim caller, the dump people. And they're more important than swim call up there, trust me. Because if they decide you can't go in there, trust me, swim call can't let you go in there. Right? So, it's true. So, it's actually really fortunate that I'm able to go in there right now and get the video and get the film and get it in detail to show people, because it'll be coming out soon enough where you will actually see, and I hope to put WASA under some serious pressure. Because I have nothing against WASA, Actually, I know quite a few people who work in WASA, and I like them very much. Mr. Clement is a lovely fellow, right? However, I am not going to sit around anymore and be given empty promises, right? So I'm about to get into a situation. Next slide, please. This is the dump from the air, right? This photograph was taken by Stephen Broadbridge, one of the founding members of Trinidad Warriors, from an aircraft. You can see how it's situated in a valley, a heavily rainforested valley. On the east and western sides of the dump are two rivers, right? The El Cedro River and the Guanapo River, right? Next slide, please. On the right-hand side of the photograph there, you see what looks like a pool, a swimming pool. That's the leachate. That is the pond of leachate draining out of the dump. It's not being managed. It's not being handled in any way. It's allowed to drain out of there anytime it rains, right? And it goes into the rivers. Next slide, please. You see on the left photograph, leachate. That is the drain they've constructed to drain the leachate out of the dump, right? So that's running down the side of the dump into the pool. The photograph on the right, though it's difficult to see right now, it looked really nice on my computer last night. The photograph on the right shows a stream which runs directly behind somebody's house living near the dump on the eastern side. And that stream, if you could see the color of the water, it's like soy sauce, right? It's black like soy sauce, right? And if you throw a stone in it, even in the leachate pool, if you throw a stone in it, it looks like a splash of soy sauce. It's not, it's black. The whole thing is just black. It's nasty, right? So, we have scientists that come there from Wassa and tell us, well, it's good, it's nutrients and whatnot, and it's good for the plants. And they tell me this. I tell them, look, I know I'm not a scientist, and I was born at night, but not last night. Seriously, right? Next picture, please. Right. This also was a video clip. I mentioned earlier Golda Bruce's report. This was a short clip from that report, confirming what it was I told you to tell you. I wasn't trying to mama guy you.